Welcome, everybody. This is the breakout room titled The Powerful Role of Play. And I'm hoping you're going to walk away with even more than 10 math activities for 3 to 5.5-year-olds that will last a lifetime. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Susan Walsh. I'm a consultant with California Preschool Instructional Network. I have been for over 20 years. Also a retired professor, also a community activist. I'm a First Five commissioner for Santa Barbara County, and I'm really, really delighted that you're here. So in this session, we're going to explore intentional strategies that support developmentally appropriate math play and guided instruction. You just heard a lot about those different types of play. But just remember that one size does not fit all, but play is for all. So we are going to talk about a lot of things, including those differentiated dice, whatever those are. You'll know by the end of this hour. Before we start, please know that there is a resource Padlet that is available to you. You can access it using the QR code also in the chat box. Naomi, thank you so much, Naomi. She's our moderator for this breakout room, has put the link in if you prefer to access it during the link. It will be available to you long after this breakout room is over. And if you're not familiar with the resource Padlet, what you do is just click on anything that you see. It will open it up in your computer, and then you can download it. And there's a lot of resources from this CDE, California Department of Education, and they are free. And then I've added some other things in there that I thought might be of interest to you. So when we talk about best practices for planning curriculum for young children, we're going to rely on a couple of CDE resources. We're going to keep referencing them throughout. One is the integrated nature of learning, and the other is the powerful role of play in early education. And these publications are very helpful to early childhood educators when you are planning your environment, when you are intentionally setting up activities. And we're going to kind of refer to them back and forth. Again, these are free of charge and are available in the Padlet to you. Now, I know that Julie and the keynote speakers talked about the play-based learning as a continuum. And we're going to be talking about really specific applications that you might use as we move through. And you will see how some of these applications really fit into all three of the categories. And Ryan even said it right at the end. He said, sometimes the children and we plan it so that they move in and out of self-directed and adult planned and directed play. And you're going to see what I'm talking about as we move through. Again, it is my goal that you have 10 things to think about, maybe 2 things to even implement tomorrow by the end of the session. So play is important. You can read that on the left-hand side. And I think it was it Stephanie in the keynote who was saying that, she was tinkering. Sometimes we call it just fiddling, but moments often discounted as just play or as fiddling around are actually moments in which children are actively learning. So not only is play important, it's essential. It's not frivolous. It's not a luxury. It's not something to fit in after we complete all the important stuff. It is the important stuff. It's a drive. It's a must-do. It's a brain building. What I'm going to hopefully provide to you today is ways that you can plan play for children, even planning self-directed play for children, so that it increases their math understanding. And so it increases their language, particularly for dual language learners. And by the way, I should tell you for CPIN California Preschool Instructional Network, I am the dual language learner lead for 4 counties in Central California. I serve Kern County, San Luis Obispo, Ventura, Santa Barbara County, and I'm a consultant to Los Angeles County Office of Ed in the UPK and TK. Now, if you've never seen the integrated nature of learning, this is like chock full of great information. And I just did a screenshot of the content for you because I want you to, look at it again. You can download it if any of these things are of interest to you. But the take-home message, the salient message about integrated nature of learning is that things work together. It doesn't work in silos, right? Children are learning through many different things in many different ways. And I want to show you this 4-minute video. If you can hear it once I play it in the chat, just give me a sign, a thumbs up, or say I can hear it, something, okay? Because I want you to see how play is the vehicle that integrates curriculum. Also, you might notice, wow, there's STEAM happening throughout here. Enjoy this 4-minute video.
Let's do Daddy's hand on this one. Okay. Tracy, how many fingers? 1, 2,
3.
Learning is integrated. Children make sense of language simultaneous with using movements of our body, simultaneous with creating a cognitive concept like spatial relations or causality. So the place I like to begin the conversation when we're talking about integrated curriculum is to talk about the fact that learning is integrated, that the mind of a child does not compartmentalize math concepts over here and language concepts here and causality here.
I think it's important to support children's development across all the domains because that's the way they are growing. When a child is coming down a slide, what's going on? Well, they're having the wonderful feel of coming down. They're learning about gravity. They're experiencing the emotion of mastery, I could do this, and being able to communicate and feeling some pride in that. So it happens all at once.
It made sense then in California as we developed the foundations and the framework that describe what we want children to learn and how we want to encourage teachers to provide for that learning, that they are divided across the academic domains.
Do you want to show us doing it?
But when you sit in a classroom and think about how do I create opportunities for children to learn, how do I develop curriculum, then I'm not thinking about dividing my time across each of the different academic domains. I'm saying, how do I create a meaningful experience for children to investigate, explore, come up with their own hypotheses, and in the process of doing that, children are making sense of the experience.
I'm gonna fly. Then I have to connect it and make another one.
Why do you have to connect them?
Because I need to make 2 windows.
Okay.
I made 2. One big and one small.
Indeed, I may have a block area, and in that block area, children are going to explore concepts of spatial relations, concepts of number. They're going to talk story.
But they could come in too, because they're going to read the prince. This is the read. He's going to read the prince, and he's going to go in the princess land too, right? He's going to go with Q&A.
And they are going to negotiate who does what when. So in a moment of play, children have now taken us through a journey through each of the domains of learning. So play really is the vehicle that allows us to integrate the curriculum, because children within play are going to effectively accomplish language, cognitive, social, emotional, physical development, all wrapped into one.
Well, there was a lot of math going on there, but there was a lot of other things going on there too. And so I want to remind you that this powerful role of play in early education. I did a screenshot from chapter 2 because there's so much in there. It makes a point of calling out the California's foundations and framework. And in the keynote, they were mentioned, the foundations and the framework. And so I am curious to know, in the chat box, would you do me a favor, please? And tell me, have you had any introduction to the PTKLF, which is the new version, preschool, transitional kindergarten learning foundations? Yes or no? I mean, they are hot off the press, so I would be kind of surprised if people are familiar with them yet. Wow, I'm seeing some yeses come in. That's great. So I'm going to be making reference to them. For some of you, if you had not been familiar with the previous preschool learning foundations, the original ones, you won't have a point of comparison, and so you're like, wet cement, right? Tabula rasa, and that's okay. So this will be all new to you. For some of you, you'll make like some references, and you'll say, that's a little different than what it was before. But I want to bring this to you because I want you to be aware of some of the PTKLFs that are specific to mathematics. So before I say that, the PTKLF, it has 9 domains, and it addresses the whole child. Sometimes we talk about development in terms of social, emotional, cognitive, and physical, but this has been distilled and refined into 9 different domains. And so we'll talk about the math domain right now. Take a moment to read what the strands are. Think about the domain as a big umbrella, and think about raindrops coming off of that umbrella. And like that makes up the math domain, right? So those are strands. Those are the 4 strands that make up the math domain. But when those strands, those raindrops hit the ground, raindrops make little raindrops. They kind of explode when they touch the ground. And then it actually refines down to what we call substrands. So there's 4 strands in the math domain, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll notice that underneath each strand, there's substrands. I'd like to talk a bit about counting. And the reason I want to do that, when I was asked to do this breakout room, I thought back about when I supported the TK teachers who were the credential teachers going back to TK to get their units so they could teach TK, as well as, because I've been training on this for 2 decades, people often are not familiar with some of these concepts that I'm going to give you. And if you know them, fabulous. I'm just going to reinforce them because there's probably a wealth of information here. But sometimes these things are nuanced and they're missed, and it's super important. And so not only am I going to discuss them about how children show their behavior, but what can you as a professional do to support children? So let's go ahead and start with this. A foundation 1 is about reciting numbers, and you can read, these are different from the old ones, which was at around 48, at around 60 months. They've changed the ages. So now we have early and later levels. So take a moment to read what it says about reciting numbers at the early level, which is 3 to 4.5-year-olds, versus later. So that kind of looks like just saying numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by rote, right? That's different than knowing one-to-one correspondence, which is counting, really counting objects using one number word for one object. And look and see how it looks different at 3 to 4.5 and 4 to 5.5. Hey, did anybody notice? There's an overlap, 3 to 4.5 and 4 to 5.5. And so there's a half-year overlap there. Because children develop at their own rate in different ways. And I say, not every child learns in the same way, in the same day, in the same class. So we have to be developmentally appropriate for all kiddos. So the first one was about just reciting the numbers. The second one is actually assigning numbers to objects. And then, that's when you count, numeral recognition. Go ahead and read what that says real quick. But did you notice how I underlined numbers in orange and numeral in yellow? Those are two very different things. Let me explain. These are numerals. Now, if I put out a basket and I ask you, I hold this up or write this down on the whiteboard or whatever, and I say, "Do you favor, I need some apples. Could you please take that many apples out of the basket, put it on the table for me?" Do you think you'd be able to do that? Yeah, not unless you were a 12th century monk, because that was the numeral that they used to represent a quantity. What about if I write this down? Some of you might know what that is. I'm guessing most of you don't. You know what? When we write this down and say, "Give me that many apples," to some children, it is as foreign as what you just saw, because it really doesn't tell them how many apples. It's a symbol. And they have not yet learned to equate a symbol, also known as a numeral, with a quantity. And so what would really be helpful is if I just put the apples on the table and I say, "Would you put this many apples on the table?" And I hold up my fingers. Because that is not a numeral. Holding up my hand with fingers showing, this is number. A number is a set or a group to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very different than the symbol 5. We have research, very strong research out of Hawaii that says if we introduce numerals too quickly before children really understand number, which is counting with number word to an object, they get confused and they think to themselves, "I'm not good at math." And they kind of give up already. It's like, "I'm not good at math." Anyway, let's define some words. Here's a little synopsis. A number is concrete objects, something to count. Could be your fingers, could be dots on a paper, but it's something to count. Okay? When we count, we use the spoken word, right? Or the written word. 1, 2, 3. A numeral is the symbol. All three of these represent number, but when you introduce it and how you introduce it and how big a number you introduce will add greatly to the success of a child's number sense understanding that really could last a lifetime. So one of my favorite books, Tana Hoven, she produced Let's Count. And on this page, you can see, look at that. She has number represented 3 ways. She's got the numeral, she's got the written word, and I can say it 3, now it's a spoken word, but she also has number. Number is a concrete group of objects to count. 1, 2, 3. So when you look at this picture in the chat box, is this picture showing number, numeral? I'll just leave it at that. Is it showing number or numeral? Go ahead and put that in the chat box. Ooh, you're listening. It is showing number. Nice job, everybody. All right. Thank you. By the way, when we talk to kids, we don't have to say what numeral is that. To them, it's all the same. You know, you just use it in context. Numeral is one of those adult sexy words we use when we're doing math training. You need to know that there's a difference and you need to know how to use it. But oftentimes we just say number. So we talked about reciting numbers. We talked about one-to-one correspondence. We talked about numeral recognition. And now we're going to watch Megan. Let's see how much she knows about counting.
Megan, count how many Band-Aids your baby has. Count out loud so I can hear you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8.
Okay. All right. So how many Band-Aids does your baby have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you for showing me how many Band-Aids your baby has.
So Megan is on her way. She doesn't count conventionally yet. She knows that counting, there's something about pointing, there's something about number words. You notice that she ran out of numbers, so she reused the numbers. I asked her at the end how many she had, and she had to recount. We're not going to go into cardinality. We don't have enough time, but if she understood that the last numbers she stated represented all of them, she has cardinality, but we're not going there. But you know what? The takeaway for me on this is that she's having a good time. Who doesn't love to count Band-Aids? So you really want to give them something fun to count, right? Here's one of your first things you might want to take away as the 10 projects, 10 things to do. So this is simply a pool noodle or pipe insulation, popsicle sticks with cows, and the cows have dots on them. And the dots that I use, by the way, are these. I buy them by the 1,000 on Amazon. They're felt dots. They usually go on the bottom of trophies. I put them on because it's easier. You can feel them, and it's easier for children to count and move on to the next item to count if they have felt it already. If it's just written with a pen, sometimes they forget that they've touched it. But anyway, so I put these out, and I have it. There's a little hole in the pipe insulation, and I ask them, put them in order for me. Later in the year, I say, put them in order from the biggest to smallest. Later in the year, I have not just 1, 2, 3, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the point is, meet them where they're at, but make it motivating and exciting to use. If you think that is something that you might want to remember, put it in the box. Put it in the chat box and say, Dr. Walsh, I got it. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about using children to count. Children love to learn kinesthetically through their body, right? So bring out the hula hoops. Now, when you have a large class, it's kind of hard to do all of these things, for people to participate. And this is why in the class you define who's going to be the participant, who's going to be the audience, and the audience has a role. They need to watch and see if the participants are getting it right. In this case, I put out 3 hula hoops, and I pull 9 children aside, and I say, I want you guys to divide yourselves evenly into the hula hoops. If they don't know what that means, I'm very didactic, and I say 3 children in each hula hoop. Now, it is a hoot to watch them. It's like, oh no, you can't come. We already got 3. And then the audience has to count them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now, to do this initially, I would start with only 2 hula hoops, just so they get the idea, and I could go to 3 hula hoops. Now, maybe it's 3 children in a hula hoop, maybe it's just 2, maybe it's just 1. However you want to do it, but it helps them understand how we take a larger number and we are actually decomposing and then counting. Well, that was idea number 2. So as we move towards outside activities, One of the things I like to do is fishing, going fishing. And so what I will do is I will put a number, so I've got 1, 2, and 3. That's not numerals, right? In a sentence strip standing up, on a fold out. And I will put matching ones on the ground and put a paper clip on it, and they fish one up and then they match it. What is also important here is you can take the card and turn it horizontally, because 3 is 3, whether it's going up or to the side or diagonally, right? When we learn to count, it's not like reading left to right. When you count, it can go any which way as long as you count all of them. A little later, maybe I'm going to introduce numerals, maybe, when I'm ready, when they're ready. But I want to keep them motivated. And so I heard Dr. Nicholson talk about, do they have agency? So sometimes we're not going to count dots. Maybe we're going to have something like this, but we're going to have kittens. We're going to count kittens, or we're going to keep fishing until we get 1 kitten on the first row. We got a lot of kittens, and then 2 kittens on the next row, and then 3 on the next. Once you introduce them to the idea, then that moves from the teacher directed to the self-directed. I want to show you a video. This teacher, first of all, her face is joyful. It should be joyful, okay? We should be having fun on all sides. She is going to do a transition here where she's excusing children and she's showing them cards. You will notice that the cards have number, which is a group of objects to count, but in different orientations. You'll see how the 3 dots look different on many different cards. You will see how she's looking carefully for some, she's looking carefully for some cards for some children, because she knows these kids and she's trying to challenge, and also she's also supporting them when they need help. So let's go ahead and watch this. And if you can hear it in the chat, would you write yes, or just give me a heart. Give me a heart if you can hear it.
Okay, my friends. So to go to gym today, I'm going to have you tell me how many dots you see. Are you guys ready? Yes. Leon, do you want to go first? Okay. Okay, show me how many. Oh, I see that you showed me 3 fingers for 3 dots. Go ahead and go sit by your locker. Okay, show me how many. Yeah, I like the way you showed me 3. 3 fingers for 3 dots. Okay, Arnold, are you ready?
I didn't see him.
He just got here. Okay, Arnold, you're going to show me on your fingers how many. Are you ready?
Arnold, did you see?
I see that you showed me on 2 hands. You showed me 2 and 1. That is 3 for the 3 dots. Go ahead and go to your locker. Jordan, are you ready? Okay, show me how many. Oh, good try. You showed me 4 fingers. There are 2 dots. Go ahead and go to your locker. Okay, King, are you ready? Okay, let's see. Ready? You're right. You showed me 3. 3 fingers. Go ahead and go to your locker. Zico, you want to go next?
Lots to learn from that teacher. She does a fabulous job. I'm sorry, I have to move through so quickly. I've got so much to say and so little time. So the title of this was about differentiated dice, right? So you are probably used to seeing a die that looks like this yellow one with the numerals on it, or the white die that has the number on it, right? No symbols, no numeral, but just dots to count, a group to count. Now, here's the issue. We've got kiddos who really can pretty much just count up to 5 when they're 3, if that many. So counting a die that has 4, 5, and 6, it's just too much. So we want to make dice that are developmentally appropriate. And the way that we do that is by using materials and making our own dice. So I'm holding up right here, I'm holding up a die that has on it, I'm going to use my big die. This is easier to see. I have a die that has 2 on one side. It's got 1 on another side. It's got 3. It's got another 3. It's got 2. It's got 1. There is no 4, 5, or 6 on this die. A really easy way, that was just a box that I covered. Another easy way to do it is to get a photo cube, right? And then just put in some Post-it notes and put in dots. And then you can change it all year when you think your kids are ready for higher numbers. So those are differentiated die. Why do I need differentiated die? Well, typically I want kids to play a path game. And a path game is simply where you have your marker and you roll the die and you move that many spots and you get to the end. It's very short, right? The idea is for children to understand one-to-one correspondence. Now, while this might seem simplistic to you, it's a wonderful, wonderful skill for children to know. And they often want to go back to the beginning and count out again, but they need to learn that they're counting on. So that if they roll the die 2 the first time, they go 1, 2, and then they roll a 1, they go to 1, roll 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's what children often do is they will count the dot that they're on already. So if they're here and they roll a 2, they'll stay here and they'll go 1, 2. The way that I have discovered to fix this, to help them, is I take my hula hoops outside, I take out that big old die I just showed you, I roll the die, and they become the marker. Hop from one hula hoop to another. So when they roll the die, it's like, no, don't jump in place where you already are. Jump forward. Why do we do this? Because this eventually helps them understand a number line. By the way, these are like, this would be a marker to put it in a binder clip and move it. This right here is worth the price of admission. If you have a child who can't remember what their marker is, put their picture in the binder and binder clip, and that's their marker. This game is and instructions in the resource Padlet for you. You can download them and print them out. Don't do this game. I cannot believe like the ages that are on here are like 3 and up or something. This makes no sense to children. They're rolling the dice. They have no idea what these numbers are. They don't count that high. First, we're going left to right, then we're going up and over. This is not developmentally appropriate. This confuses children. Please use path games. Now, number in operation is composition and decomposition, adding, subtracting. I'm checking my time, checking as fast as I can. I'm so sorry. Decomposing. Remember when you were in 4th grade and you did the family of facts? How do you make 5? 1 plus 4, 4 plus 1, 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 0. What do we do in preschool? It's like that.
5, 5. Amora, can you show me 5? All right, 5. All right, Aiden, you ready? You want to grab the 5 bean bags or one at a time? All right. A little more gentle maybe, right? Oh my goodness. Aiden, how many did you get inside?
3.
3 inside?
4.
You mean 4 inside? And how many were outside?
1.
And how many bean bags did we have?
5.
We had 5 bean bags. All right. Okay, you ready? Okay, Joy.
Three.
3 inside. And Amora, how many are outside?
2.
2 are outside. And how many was it all together?
5.
We had 5.
5.
How many are there?
So that math talk is so important. It's fun to play the game, but take a moment to reinforce what makes 5, right? 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2. You all started with 5, but you had different ways that 5 was showing. So again, one of the best calculators we have on our body is our fingers. When I play that game, I actually give children, one of the ways is Unifix cubes, because I want them to do a 1-to-1 correspondence. They're putting one Unifix cube on one finger, then they're taking one off and throwing it, taking one off and throwing it, taking one off and throwing it. I play it in a lot of different ways. And then I have them, I give them a circle like this, and I have them make little marks. How many did you get inside? How many outside? And so they make a little book, right? And then they put it all together, and then they can read it at the end. It's like, how many did you have inside? How many outside? How many all together? And then they can read it to each other. It's really fun. It's very easy. So there's just a thought. Outside, we can do this outside. Another way to do it is that big box I just showed you. First, the one on the left, I give them 5 ducks. They're throwing it. The picture on the right, now they throw the die, and then they have to go to the basket of the ducks and take that many out. So they'd go to the basket, and they'd get 2, and then they would throw it, and then they would decide how many inside, how many outside. Producing a subset, a small set from a larger set, can be challenging for some children. We want them to do it and practice as often as possible, and you can do it in a lot of playful ways too. So I showed you the short path game, usually 10 to 12 spaces. When they really get that idea of rolling the die, moving that many spaces, now you can have 2 dice. Right. And I make my dice in cubes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so the other cube can just be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, because you want them to roll both dice, right? And then move that many spaces, because now they're adding on. They're taking 2 numbers and adding them together. Now, often kids will, if you roll a 2 and a 3, they won't go 2 plus 3 is 5. What they'll do is they'll look at the first die that has 2, they'll move 2, and then they'll look at the other one that's 3, and they go 1, 2, 3. They're usually not adding together and moving on, but that's okay. We want them to understand that, bigger numbers are a result in bigger numbers. 2 numbers can be bigger numbers. Okay, I have to look at my time. Okay, I want to talk to you really quickly about classifying and patterning. So when we sort collections, we want to make it interesting, right? And then we want to actually talk to the child and have them even tell the kid next to them how they, what was the rule? Oh, I put all the red ones here and all the blue ones here. And then when we do that, when you go over and you see that they have sorted it in, by an attribute, circle the attribute and say the name. The reason we circle is so they're building a schema. Oh, this pile is all red. Oh, this pile is all blue. Sometimes I'm sneaky and I'll take a blue out and I'll put it in the red. I'm like, is this okay? No, Teacher Susan, you can't do that. Well, why not? Because it's blue. Oh, did I break the rule? Teach me how to fix it. Oh, put it back with the blue. Okay. We often have these color plates at the beginning of the year. They should not go beyond the beginning of the year. This is really matching. It's not so much sorting. You want to introduce sorting by matching? That's fine. Then take away the plates, put all the buttons out without the plates and see if they can, then match them by color. It's easier to sort small groups than large groups. It's easier to sort organized groups, in other words, in a line, than disorganized groups. And want to motivate them? Give them something interesting. Those buttons are so much more interesting than the black ones, same black ones. I'm going to show you a little bit of this Can't show you the whole thing. One of the reasons I chose it is because she's working with dual language learners. The whole video is in your resource Padlet. You can watch it.
I chose the book Five Creatures because in the story there's a family of 2 cats and 2 adults and 1 child. Do you remember the other day we read this story? On each page the creatures are sorted by a different attribute, and I thought that would be a good introduction to the lesson because the children have to sort themselves by different attributes. So we're going to have 5 creatures as sorters and 5 creatures as the audience, okay? And I want the sorters to stand up. Could you all stand up, please? And you're going to stay sitting. Now, let me see. I'm going to be looking at what you're wearing. And we are going to sort ourselves by what you're wearing. So, the children that are wearing boots come to this rectangle. If you are wearing boots. Oh, where should you go, Yihang?
In the red.
Come on. The children who are wearing shoes come in this rectangle. Yeah. Joseph, which rectangle do you belong in? Are you wearing boots or shoes, Joseph?
Because you have boots.
Let's have a look. Let's show everybody so we can figure it out. How about Joseph, audience? Michelle, this is your job. Have a look at Joseph. Is he wearing boots or shoes?
I know.
What is he wearing?
Shoes.
Shoes. So which rectangle should he go in?
No, the Leno.
Oh, okay. Over here, Joseph.
Oh, the Lelo. So that whole video is, again, in the resource Padlet. And you notice how she engaged the watchers to be active learners. So this looks familiar to you. You saw this before for counting, but now we're using it for sorting. So you can ask children to sort by certain attributes in the hula hoops. Please ask parents and families to partner with you on this. And to that end, if you're not familiar, do me a favor in the chat box, yes or no. Have you ever seen this All About Young Children resource for families? Yes or no? It is in 8 languages from birth to 48 months on 5 different developmental domains that are listed here. I highly recommend it. It's designed for parents. I think teachers get really good information from it too. So it's in the resource Padlet. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to watch these girls. This was a really good example of self-directed, putting out the materials, let them at it. And the other point was, look at all of the domains, when they're outside, it's not just math. There was a lot of social emotional, and they were English language learners as well, and physical development. This we're not going to be able to watch, unfortunately. TK Integrated Learning Through Physical Education. It's a wonderful short video that was just produced by Kern County. I will ask permission to put it in the resource Padlet for you. Because I wanted to save my last minute to talk about Five Little Ducks. We sing it all the time. 5 little ducks went swimming one day. We use finger play, but children need manipulatives. They're not ready for abstract thought yet. So they need to see the ducks. You can use felt ducks, you can use plastic ducks, but really what this is about is decomposing. Like what happens to the other duck when it goes away? We started with 5. Some of them are somewhere on either side of the bridge or the hill. So it's really important to do that, but consider giving them materials so that they can build a playscape, if you will, that represents the song. Then they can sing it and move them as they move along. So I just want to remind you that there are common myths about play. Please think about, if you get some of these questions that are myths, the Blue Book, Powerful Role of Play, will help you address it. And now we have a poll for you. Would you honor me? please, by answering the 2 questions in this poll. The first one is all the activities that you found useful in our presentation, and the second is about the resource Padlet. Kindly respond. And on the first one, click all of the activities. It's not just one that you found useful. When you're done with that, scroll down to the second question and submit. Thank you so much. Please continue to do that. We have almost everybody participating so far. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As you are completing this and we're almost done, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your dedication. Here you are in the in the evening, I'm sure after a very long day, and your commitment to quality. I hope that this has been useful for you. It has been my honor to share time with you. Thank you so much. We're going to end the poll in 10 seconds. And are we going to show the results? I think we will, if we have time. Oh my gosh. Are you feeling more confident? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think at this time you are to go back to the lobby. Is that correct, Naomi?
Yes, please join the lobby and join the closing remarks. And if you would like to stay for the networking opportunity, it's through the same room.
Thank you.